Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming to our agent training for Renowned, formerly Rate My Agent. Justin is our trainer. He will be here in a matter of minutes. He's just running a few late. Take this time to refresh your coffee or water or get something you need before we hear all about the platform.
Oh, hey there, folks. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. But yeah, how's everybody doing? You got it here.
Well, Justin, it looks like everyone's just kind of hopping in. I told them to refresh their water or their coffee or whatever they have to drink while we're just waiting a minute, and more
Yeah,
people are popping in as we speak. So, um,
excellent.
we are doing just fine.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, thanks, folks. Let's see if there's folks here I have met. Looks like Dayla might be hopping on. Okay, folks. Well, yeah, why don't we just give it a another minute here? I, I'm hoping, you know, do we have a host here? I'm just hoping I'm hoping we can get this recorded. So I don't know if there's anybody. Hey, Gray. I don't know if there's anybody here that might have that, or if we should go ahead and maybe wait for Megan or Dayla or someone to hop on.
I believe it did say recording in progress.
Oh,
So I think
well,
we are already good.
user error. Thanks, folks. Alrighty, well, why don't I go ahead and I'm gonna just get my screen booted up here real quick. All right, kick out of that. Let me see if I can share my screen. I certainly can. All right. Well, let's see. A lot of folks. Good turnout. Excellent. Well, I reckon we might just go ahead and kick it on off here. What do you think, Ann?
I think that sounds good.
All right, excellent. Well, hi there, folks. My name is Justin. I'm the Director of Customer Enablement here at Renowned, and I am joined by Ann Gurley, who is our brokerage account manager. Really appreciate everybody's time. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of this session. We're going to be going over the Renowned platform, who we
Hey
are, what we do.
Justin,
Oh,
Justin, I'm sorry. This is Megan with the
oh, hi,
office.
Megan.
We had a outlet that was completely out of power, so we're almost in to get this meeting started
Okay,
on the
sorry.
yeah, on the office end. I just wanted to let you know I just need like one more minute, if that. So
Sure.
thank you so
No,
much.
absolutely. Yeah, you bet.
Well, while we're waiting for a second, I just want to say I will be in the chat for any questions. I will do my best to answer them. If I'm not able to answer them, I will keep track of them and we will ask Justin at the very end.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely do some Q&A at the end. All right. Well, I feel like I say this, and I know I say it every time, and I feel like I should have some kind of hold music or something.
Oh,
I
we
don't want I
definitely
don't want
should.
elevator music, but nobody wants to hear me sing, so I gotta figure
We
something
need a
out.
renowned theme song. So if
Uh,
anyone has any ideas, send them our way.
nice. All right.
Okay, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Great, and we can hear you, and that's perfect. Sorry about that. We just realized
No.
outlet with no power, so we had to replug the stuff.
Oh, it's all good. My Zoom decided to reinstall itself while I was trying to hop on. So yeah, we're all good. So beautiful. Well, why don't I just kind of rewind it a little bit here? But yeah, so I'm going to be going over Renowned Platform, who we are, what we do, what we're going to be able to help you accomplish, and then I'm going to give you I'm going to call it a crash course on your profile. You are all being provided with upgraded profiles, and what's really great about our system and what's already been set up, vast majority of this has already been set up for you. So I'm just going to hone in on some best practices, some upgrade features you can take advantage of, and then we're going to get into the fun stuff, the social media tool that you're being provided. But yeah, Renowned. So we are a digital marketing platform that allows agents to collect and consolidate reviews from around the web into a centralized profile. And you folks now, through Keller Williams Greater Columbus Realty, there have access to a suite of marketing tools that really starts to take those reviews to the next level. We want to make sure that we're leveraging these, getting them where the people are looking, using them to create content. Let's not just collect them for the sake of collecting them. They are more important than ever, and I'll speak to that in the next slide. So we want to make sure that we are broadcasting these. It's your hard work. Let's get it in front of people, but at the same time, let's get it and use it to feed Google searches as well as AI. I will be talking about AI quite a bit as we move through the presentation because we do very well in that space. But I just want to kind of frame it here real quick. The why behind all of this, why are reviews so important? Well, we're living in the era of social proof or third-party validation. Those are just fancy ways of saying reviews. Everybody is reading them. Amazon says that it's over 90% of potential consumers are reading reviews before they make a decision. So we better believe real estate's going to be the same idea as folks determine who they'd like to work with as they make the largest transaction of their life. And I'm not normally much of a deck guy, but I do like this slide. You're seeing, I guess, what I call a little bit of a flow right here. And that was actually built on information that NAR provided in their 2024 buyer and seller generational trends guide. And it kind of maps out the process of potential clients going through when choosing an agent in the era of social proof. They're saying, hey, sure, referrals, recommendations, that's still a thing. It's going to be a thing. But what has changed is people are hopping online and they are doing their homework. They're doing that research. They're trying to make an informed decision. And yeah, they've been trained. Amazon and Yelp made reviews a thing. They're not going anywhere. And we know they are going to start looking certain places. They are going to run Google searches. They are going to look across social media for a strong online presence. Look over on the website, maybe a listing portal like a realtor.com. And what's becoming more and more prevalent is people hopping in and doing AI searches. So when they're out there doing that research, we want to make sure that they can find this social proof. They are trying to glean some insight into the personality, the brand of the agent they're going to be working with. And again, that is where the reviews really do come into play. And we help you accomplish this through automation and content generation of verified content. So through your brokerage, you have access to a robust suite of marketing tools that can be set up once, and then we can take a single review and syndicate it to places like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, the post section of a Google business profile. It automatically goes over to realtor.com every 48 hours with no touch point from the client. And then we have prompting mechanisms for Google reviews, Zillow reviews, Facebook, Yelp. So that one review is now touching all of those platforms in one fell swoop. So we're generating content, we're driving engagement, and we are feeding AI. One of the reasons that we do so well in the AI space, and I'll show you what this looks like tangibly in just a moment, our reviews are all considered verified content. We are considered a verified, trusted review reputation site across the web. And we create these verified reviews by placing them up against transactional data. So, whatever kind of catchphrase we want to use, AEO, SEO, GEO, there's a bunch of them out there. Our site and those reviews in and of themselves check all those boxes. AI is looking for structured, organized data, phrasings, keywords. It just makes it easier for it to find things. So I'll show you some upgrade features you can take advantage of to really feed that. And you're really in for a treat because you have access to our Social Studio tool. Social Studio is essentially a little social media manager in your pocket. This thing can go ahead. It has a 6,000 plus piece content library, so you'll never be at a lack of anything to post. And we can even automate posts through this content library. You set up basically a playlist, tell it to go ahead and generate it, and then it can go ahead and schedule a month's worth of content for you. And there are ways to make that just roll over month after month after month. So now we're taking that curated content that's always going to be about the real estate space, and it gets updated every single week. So we're not going to see, chicken pot pie recipes, pumpkin spice type stuff. We want to keep your brand really consistent across all of these channels so it will always be relevant to real estate. And again, I mentioned it, it can all be automated, including the reviews, listings, and solds. So now we're going out and we're taking personal content, reviews, listings, solds, mixing it in with the curated content, and this just keeps churning along in the background, driving up engagement and feeding Google and feeding AI. And so I will be taking you through how to get that one set up, and that'll be the fun stuff. So that's Renowned in a nutshell right there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is essentially take you folks through what I call the crash course, just a couple of things to take a look at to get set up on your profile. Now, I'll toss a link into the chat here, and that link is going to allow you to then, and I'll be sure to distribute this in an email as well. This will allow you to then go ahead and punch in your email address. You click continue, and the first time you log in, you're just going to want to use that forgot password option. We like to do that with our partners. It allows you to skip a bunch of steps when you go ahead and set up. Also lets us set up some stuff for you. So just use that link, punch in that email address, and then we're just using forgot password. Sends you an email, lets you set your password. So that is the very first step. That link's in the chat, and I'll be sure to distribute that after the session as well. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is give you a little bit of the crash course, and I'm going to do this from my demo profile because I've got a couple things hooked up I do want to show you. So you are going to land in the dashboard that you are seeing here, and we're really going to kind of treat this as two sides of the house. We're going to go through the review side of the house where truth be told, and then we will get into the fun stuff, the Social Studio. But the first spot to hit once you hit in this dashboard is edit profile. Now, anything we do in edit profile does show up on the consumer facing side of the site. A vast majority of this will have been filled out for you folks. Team went through. You should, if you had a headshot on the website, if you had a bio on the website, that's going to be in there for you. But you can always update these by clicking this little plus button, upload from computer. Now, don't worry about the branding. That has been set up at a brokerage level, and it is pulling across to all of the individual profiles and branding those for you. And I'll show you where all this goes in just a moment. Contact details, pretty straightforward right on in through there. There's call to action buttons all over these profiles, so we want to get that tossed in. Job titles, you can have up to 3 job titles. Just click that little pencil, select it from the drop down, save that change. Bio, if you're seeing a bio in there, we got that from the website and tossed it in there for you. But this would be the spot for the bio. And I'll just shout this out because you're going to see it on your profile. These upgraded profiles have AI functionality baked into them all over the place by popular demand. And this was one of them right here. Hey, craft me a bio. So you don't have to save it, but what it's going to do is go through all of your transactions and look for price points, types of properties that have been sold, locations that you tend to operate in, do its AI thing, go learn more about those areas, and then craft out an SEO-driven bio. The thing is trained to craft out bios that are going to index well in searches about the real estate space. And it's getting kind of scary smart, so play around with it. But again, you do not have to save it. This one right here, though, folks, if we're taking notes out there, this is your spot to hone in on. This is called the Media Gallery, and this is one of the upgraded features that's being provided. And this was completely agent-driven feedback. Hey, you know, as an agent, we are essentially our brand. We need to be able to showcase that, highlight it, put some pop and personality on these profiles. Or I've got an achievement from the brokerage, a one-pager in a local magazine. It's value proposition I want to get more eyes on. What can you do about about that. So we went ahead, we built this area out here that allows you to do just that. You can upload up to 9 images as well as put a direct link to a YouTube or a Vimeo video that will then also go ahead and display out on the consumer facing side of the site. And why don't I show you what that looks like on my demo profile? So this is the consumer facing side of a profile. So really trying to liven up the testimonial space. It tends to be rather drab, kind of boring, not a lot of oomph or credence going on behind the reviews. Well, we allow you to put your branding all over these profiles. And I mentioned it earlier, we place all of our reviews up against transactional data. That allows it to be treated as verified content, which Google and AI really like. Plus, it's a picture coming from the MLS. It's a picture of the home. People like clicking on pictures of homes. They just do. So it's going to drive up engagement time. But what we're looking at right now is the media gallery. So this is where we were able to upload all of those images as well as get our direct link to a YouTube or a Vimeo video. So you can see it just lives front and center. I'm heavy into brand awareness and brand value. I'll probably even say it a few more times. The more somebody sees something, the more engages with it, the more likely they are to trust and choose it, whether they know it or not. It's just top of mind reference marketing. It's been around forever. Same idea as a face on the billboard on the side of the freeway that people see on their morning commute, except digital. So branded marketing content, homes that have been sold, pictures that represent the area you tend to operate in. I see a lot of pictures of those happy new homeowners in front of the house or an agent handing a key over. I've seen the champagne toast at the closing table. So you really can get creative with that. But that's the idea, is to drive value, drive that engagement. All right, folks. Links, this is just an area for the direct hyperlinks to the social media platforms. I will show you the dashboard where you are actually logging in just a moment. You can also display any and all languages that you may speak out on the front end of the profile by clicking this little pencil right here. And then we've got a couple settings. So display performance stats. So we can show MLS statistics on the front ends of these profiles. Just keep in mind, it's a rolling 12 months. It's not going to be all time. It will be a rolling 12 months. So yeah, we had requests. People would like to turn that on and off. That's this little toggle right here. And it is a rolling 12 months, but it's made abundantly clear that it's not all time statistics out on the front end of the profile. Display media gallery on highlight card. Do I have that pulled up? If not, I can pull it up. I do. So people can hop on our site and they can run searches starting to look for agents. And after they run that search, people begin to populate. And now this page actually just got updated again earlier this week. So yeah, this page is getting a lot of love. And what we're trying to do is drive up brand awareness and engagement out here as well. Previously, we just had a headshot of the agent. It showed a review. Well, we've still got the headshot of that agent. Looks like I get mine updated. We still got the headshot of that agent. We're able to show a couple of more reviews, but they're the reviews from where the person searched. I thought that was neat. And now we've got the branding more prominent. It used to just be a little guy down here, but now it's going to rack out across the entire search location card. And why it gets me fired up is it takes that showcase we were just looking at. It allows you to upload those images and toss that video in here and displays them out here on all of the search location pages. So no matter where somebody might be on the site, they're going to have an instant glimpse into that brand and into that value. So I think the key takeaway about that is leverage this. It's going to be all over the site. License, pretty straightforward there. NAR member ID. So you should have that in there. If you do not have it in there, punch in your NAR member ID. And you know what? Even if it is in there, please just double down and take a peek at it. Because we do have a partnership with NAR and Realtor.com where the reviews that are requested and received on our platform move over to that Realtor profile automatically every 48 hours like clockwork. No touch point from the client. So trying to get these reviews where they're going to get some eyes on them. Those folks obviously have a ton of traffic. Maybe I can, who was I just talking? I was just talking to this agent, so she's on my mind. But let me show you what this looks like. Tangible example out in the wild here. So this is a Realtor.com profile, and these reviews were requested and received on our site, and they are moving over automatically. The client did not have to do anything, and neither did the agent. But they also move over as verified reviews. There's that verified third-party, trust and transparency that people are looking for. And it's another reason that we're considered that trusted verified review source across the web there. So please just double down on this one for me. That's going to be your spot to check on. And then last but not least is the My Markets area. I always say this is a great place to highlight areas that you currently operate, but it could also be used for areas that you're farming or looking to move into as well. We can really give those potential clients a full scope of where you're doing business. And so it is all tied to a Google mapping system. So you can go ahead and punch in a location. This is going to destroy my internet. Let me close that. Well, you can punch in your location, and if my internet allows it, we'll see a drop down and it'll allow you to go ahead and select it. I'm gonna click off it. There we go. So you can see it goes ahead. I've punched in that area. It's all tied to a Google map. Now I do get asked quite a bit, what can I have in there? How many can I have in there? And my answer to that one is you can have as many as you would like. And from where I am sitting, I would almost put anywhere that you are willing to go. Because what we're doing with those locations is we're actually tucking them down here all the way at the bottom of the page. They're there to help out with search results, especially, the keyword concept, short, concise, organized, verifiable content. So it used to just be this, it could turn into a big wall of text further up the profile, but now we've got it living right down here in the, just kind of at the base. So it's really just there to help out with search results. It's not going to put any value proposition around. All right, folks, so that's your first stop. It's going to be edit profile. You go ahead, things to focus on if we're taking notes, media gallery, double down on the NAR member ID, and then you can play around with those markets. But now what we'll go through is, believe it or not, essentially the last piece of setup you're going to do in this dashboard, and then we're going to take a look at the various ways that we offer to collect reviews. Now, over on the left-hand side of the dashboard, you are going to see a Google Reviews area. Go ahead and click on that one. I have this hooked up so I can demo this, but you will see a big Connect Business Profile button. You cannot miss it. So you're going to go ahead and click on that Connect Business Profile, and it's just going to waltz you through the steps to then be able to go ahead and connect with Google through our system. That's going to become very important in just a couple of minutes here when we start talking about reviews. So hop into Google Reviews. That's the only other thing to set up in this dashboard. We've got edit profile. We're hooking up our Google Reviews. Then we're going to go into the social media tools. So get Google hooked up. It's about to talk to a couple of tools here. So the next spot I'm going to show you is the various ways that we offer to collect reviews, and one which I think is a great place to start. We're going to go in the reviews area, followed by import. Now what this tool is going to do is it's going to go on off to Google, and it's going to go on off to Zillow, do its darndest to draw the reviews that you have there into it. And what this allows us to do is link the review up to a transaction to create a verified review without having to reach out to the client. So I view this as leveraging hard work that's already been done. Transactions closed. We have the review. We're just going to link it up to a property and create a verified piece of content that the internet is going to find. And again, you are not reaching out to your client. So I kind of view this, especially for the Zillows, as just kind of, dusting them off, bringing them back to life. Because you can go, it's going to go far back, allowing you to go ahead and link those up. So we hop on in, we're in the import tool, and just for sake of example, I'd like to turn this review into a verified review. I go ahead and click link to property. Now all I need to do is go ahead and link that property up to the transaction. If you're not immediately seeing it, you're going to need to give it a quick search because it's only going to show you about the last year or so. So let's just say, for example, I know that this transaction went with this review. I'm going to select it. I just keep an eye on the title. I select whether they were the buyer or the seller. I click import review, and boom, it's done. And now I've taken that Google review, I've converted it into a review on our site as a verified piece of content. And I will show everyone why I really like this. And I might be the only one here that talks about it, but it's super important. So all of these reviews are actually creating content. They're not static. I can actually open this up. We're unique in that regard. So every single review is creating a piece of fresh, unique, dynamic content that is verifiable on a trusted site. So again, I view it as just kind of bringing that review to life a little bit. Let's get a picture on it. Let's get it verified. And so, it checks a lot of boxes. It's increasing the online presence, the digital footprint, again, SEO, AEO, GEO, putting breadcrumbs out there for the internet to find whatever catchphrase we want to use. The reviews in and of themselves check all those boxes, and imported reviews also start to feed some of our other engagement tools that are upgrades out here. I'll highlight those. The upgraded profiles have AI out on the front of them. AI has been proven to drive up engagement time. So this actually will go through all of the reviews, look for keywords that continue to pop up, and then it goes ahead and populates it. So using AI to feed AI, it's interesting to me. So yeah, there's that one there. And these imported reviews will also live on this Google Map as well. This is a fully integrated Google Map. This talks to the Google mapping system. You can go all the way down into Street View for this thing, and it can even toggle between listings and solds as well. Mine looks kind of weird because it's spread all across the country, but you can imagine how this can become a really powerful proof of authority tool. And the fact that it's talking to Google gives it more credence across searches. So yeah, folks, this tool right here, Secret Weapon, hop on in there and have a play around. Alrighty, so that's a great place to start. Now what we're going to take a look at are the various ways that review collection actually happens. And the first place I'm going to head to is settings, followed by automate reviews. Now what we've gone ahead and done is we've actually got this set up. It's not turned on yet, but we have a piece of functionality called easy reviews. And this is tied into the dot loop system, and this allows us to automate the review request process. So a transaction gets closed out in dot loop. We'll draw in the client's contact details, marry it up against the transactional data, and then we will send you an email saying, hey, we're sending this out in 48 hours. If you do not want that, click here. So there still is a control mechanism around whether or not you want to reach out to that client. But if we do not action that email, it's going to go ahead and send on off. This tool works in perfect conjunction with all of the social media optimization and automation that we can set up. Closing something out in dot loops, part of the closing process. We'll go ahead, we'll trigger that email out. If you don't cancel it, it's going to the client, comes back in, passes through all of the social media tools. So this is what really makes it start to churn in the background. But there are a couple of best practices around it. In order for this to function, we need certain bits of information. We need an address, we need a client's name, and we need at least an email, and it needs to be a real email. A lot of the stuff that comes on through where I have people telling me nothing's going out, it's because they're putting like mail@mail.co.com exclamation point. I don't know if it's concerns about data, but we're not going to be able to send that, or it's just completely blank. So we do need those contact pieces that we can then be able to trigger for you. But, maybe it's a typo. You've put .co instead of .com or .ne instead of .net. We'll send you an email and say, hey, we'd really like to send this out, but we cannot. Can you please go ahead and update the email address? At which point you will be able to hop in and go ahead and update that email address. And one other anecdote that I like to share, we launched this product a long time ago, and the person was using SkySlope, but it's the exact same tool. They closed a transaction out in SkySlope, and for whatever reason, I don't know if they were using it as their own CRM, they had named their client Hothead inside of SkySlope, and then it sent Hothead a review request. And it was not pretty. I got yelled at for like a week, and the tool had just kind of launched too, and I've never seen it ever again. It was wild. So I still bring it up, probably because I'm mortified by it, but it's pulling over exactly what it sees. So just keep that in mind. We need an address, we need a name, and we need an email to be able to send that. Cell phone is optional. We can send them an SMS, but we do need that email address. And so again, folks, this is not turned on yet, but I think the plan is to get this turned on here right quick. And I do also know that I have a list of some folks we're not turning that on for, but I can loop back in with the team there. Alrighty, folks. So one thing I do want to show you. So .loop, easy reviews, automation, amazing going forward. But I will show you something else that exists in our system that also makes us unique. So inside of the reviews area, I'm going to hit request. And this is where you go to manually request a review. So again, easy reviews going forward, but I'd be remiss if I didn't share this because you can go as far back in our system as you would like to request reviews. You just need to keep an eye on this date range. You can uncheck it. You will see more properties populate. And then requesting a review is very straightforward. We go ahead and hit request review. We're going to go ahead. Yours will look like this. We select whether they were the buyer or the seller. We need their name. We need their email. Cell phone is optional, but it all can be done from the phone. And we're going to talk about Google in just a moment here. So please get that hooked up if you do have a Google business profile, first time you're in there. And then you do have the ability to craft out a personalized message. I think that's a nice touch, especially if you're going further back in time, maybe an anecdote about the transaction or something that shows you've developed a rapport with the client. That can go a long way towards driving, that conversion. It's also a nice sphere touch opportunity. Some of these people might already even be in a drip campaign. You could pause this, plug this request in there, get that hard work back in front of them and see if, we can get that review and maybe drum up a referral at the same time. So we've got our client's information, we've got the note, we hit request review. And I will show you a video in just a moment of the client's experience because we've tried to make this as easy as possible for everybody involved. The client received an email, they open it on up, they click write review. They are taken to a page to go ahead and give a star rating. They write the review, they hit submit, and it's done. So there's no account creation required whatsoever. There's no roadblocks, no barriers to entry. We don't even do that thing where it says, hey, you can log in using Google, Apple, or Facebook, where you have now created an account on that site, whether you know it or not. We do not ask them to do that at all. So it's a very quick, clean, easy process for them. But let's go ahead and talk about Google because we integrate with Google in two different ways, and one of them has to do with once the review is left. So I have my demo Google Business profile pulled up right here. Now we will be taking every single one of your reviews, listings, and sales and creating posts that go down here to the content section of a Google Business profile. So this is just a nice way to pepper Google with some data, show it some activity, show it some frequency. So that will happen with every review listing sold. But Google's got its Google reviews area up at the top here. And now nobody's able to just take a review and put it directly into this Google reviews area. I really wish we could, but you have to have a Google account in order to leave a Google review, and they're never going to relinquish that. They want people creating Google accounts. There's a lot of power in that for them. So in lieu of that, we did build in a tool where immediately after they finish leaving the review with us, they are asked, hey, will you go please place this on Google? We're going to copy it for you and take you directly there. At which point we will copy that review right into their clipboard and quite literally land them on the Google screen to give a star rating, paste, and post the review. So while not automatic, it's kind of strike while the iron's hot. They're thinking about you. They're thinking about your business. We need them to click two buttons and have a Gmail account to leave that review. So I almost viewed it as us just verifying they'd even be able to leave a Google review. But yeah, I really try and delineate these two spots in these trainings. I don't want there to be any confusion or mix up. Everything goes down here regardless of their email address. And then they need to have a Google account. That's just their TNCs to leave that Google review. So it's not going to be like realtor.com where that's automatic. There is a prompting mechanism, and I'll play a video in a second. But yeah, so if they don't have a Gmail account, it's possible that you're never going to have one and you were never going to get that Google review to begin with. But we get it on Google one way or another because we'll create a post for you that's going to go down here to the bottom. And then, of course, blast it out across the socials and get it on Realtor. But why don't I go ahead and play this for everybody? So this is a video from the email the client receives all the way to them copying it over to Google. It's loud. So this is where they'd see that nice note. They click write a review, take into this screen, no account creation, very straightforward form, clear calls to action, tells them what we want them to do. They can get in there and tell their story. They can put a name or submit it anonymously. They hit continue and then boom, that will instantly pop up. They click those two buttons, that will instantly pop up. Star rating, paste, post, done. So, and that's all in real time too. So the whole thing can take less than 5 seconds. But again, folks, I just want to shout that out. Everything down at the bottom, prompting clients to leave reviews on Google. That's why it's important that we go ahead and get Google hooked up inside of that Google reviews area. All right, folks. So before I get into Social Studio, let me take a look at the chat. Oh boy. For folks that are having login issues,
Hey, Justin, it was asked, do you have a video of just that last little demonstration you did that they would be able to go back and reference?
the Google piece?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can get you guys that link.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Good question.
Do not know what that error is. I'm so sorry. Rachel. It looks like Anne's on it, maybe getting it over to the error is because you have not allowed it. So there is a question from Jeff, can you integrate with Zillow? We do not integrate with Zillow. Zillow does not like to play nice in the sandbox, to put it lightly. So they do not automatically go over to Zillow, but that's a great point. We can prompt clients to leave the reviews on Zillow in the exact same manner as Google. So they can go out, they can cross-post their review over to Google, they can cross-post, hop back in and cross-post it over to Zillow. So no, Zillow will not be like Realtor.com. Zillow keeps asking for client contact details, and never in a billion years is that ever going to happen. So we're at a little bit of an impasse, but we thought it would be, a nice workaround for them to be able to hit this post to Zillow button. Can we import previous real satisfied reviews? Um, there are ways that we can work together to try and get real satisfied reviews, into the system here, but those would not, anything that you import, be it Zillow, that's not going to automatically go over to Google because they would need to use their Google account. I'm not sure if I'm answering that properly, but yeah, they will need to. I'm sorry, folks. We'll take that error you're receiving offline. Not seen that. But all right, folks. So that's the review side of the house. Pretty straightforward, but I want to get us into the fun stuff here. So again, just real high level overview of this dashboard. It's edit profile. If you have a Google Business profile, again, it's not required, but if you have one, get that thing hooked up. And, excuse me. And then I think the import tool is a really nice place to start to convert those reviews. And then we'll be getting your review automation turned on. Just keep in mind, you have control over that. If you do not want that to go out to a client, you just need to be sure to cancel it. And then my little secret weapon, secret tip, you can go back as far as you would like to request these reviews. You just got to keep an eye on that date range, and then you can go on back and request those. Alrighty, everybody. So let's go ahead and hop on into Social Studio. I'm really excited to show everyone this. This is the new toy here. So on the left-hand side of your dashboard, you're going to want to click on Social Studio. Please do not click on social media posts. You're going to want to go ahead and click on Social Studio. This is the upgrade. So if you had previously been, using us, through MLS partnership or whatever, you would have had access to this guy, probably a light version of it. But let's click on Social Studio. And you'll see why I treat this as two different sides of the house. So the first dashboard, that was the review side of the house, and now I'm in Social Studio. And this is the tool where we're going to hook up our social profiles. We're going to set up a couple of pieces of automation, and I'm going to show you actually how after you hook up your socials, you can immediately start using this product. So the best way to visualize this dashboard is to work it left to right. So we got social profiles. Go ahead and click these tiles, and it's just going to waltz you through the steps to go ahead and get those connected. So we can do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, and the Google Business Profile. Now, the only thing to keep in mind, it will need to be a Facebook business page, and it will need to be an Instagram professional account. That's just Meta's terms and conditions. But I do get a lot of feedback. Hey, I've got a business profile. I don't necessarily utilize it, but it's there. I say, hook up this tool. I'm going to show you how we can set up some automation, and then it's going to hit your business. You don't have to babysit it. You can always share it over to the personal one. So there's a little workaround for their TNCs there. And the next thing is going to be the branding bar. Now, don't worry about the branding bar, folks. We've got you dialed in with a really sharp looking compliant branding bar. Yeah, it's actually going to look fairly similar to this, but it's going to have your folks' branding in it, and it looks really sharp. I'm excited if you can't tell. Previously, it was fairly limited what you could do with it, but now we've got you compliant, we got you squared away. Don't have to worry about the branding bar. My team went through and we got all those in there for you. Maybe I can even show you one of those in a moment. So branding, so I should explain what the branding bar is. I got so excited. The branding bar is what actually brands the social media posts. You can see an example of it on the right-hand side here across the bottom of the screen. When you set up your automation, there's options to have it or not. So it's in there for you though. So I'm almost thinking we could just, yeah, you can try and create, you could create one if you'd like, but again, there's a really sharp looking one in there for you. All right, so we got our social profiles hooked up. There's a branding bar in there. Now we're going to go into automate posts. Other than getting your socials hooked up, this is the most important part. So autopilot. Autopilot is going to draw from a 6,000 plus piece content library and essentially set us up with what I'm calling a content playlist. We'll choose some categories, it'll generate it. It's going to send you an email saying, hey, here's what we've got for you. What do you think? At which point you can go ahead and approve it, and then it'll just post month after month after month. And technically, it can be a one-time setup too. I'll show you that. So we're going to go in, I'm in automate posts. I'm going to go ahead and click setup now. Pick which social profiles you want it to go to. It's not all or nothing. So you can choose which ones you'd like to go out to. And then we're actually going to build the playlist. We're either going to go, we're obviously going to want some real estate in there. We could also sprinkle some mortgage in. Keep an eye on the time zone. It should pick up where you are based on your IP, but you know, if you're using a VPN, we don't want it thinking you're in Denmark or something. So just keep an eye on that time zone. Choose your content. These are where we're going to be able to go ahead and start to build out that playlist. So I'm going to go ahead. I want these to be provided to me when I go ahead and post. Now, how often do I want this to go out? Based on the numbers of categories you select, that's how often it can go out. Time of day, I recommend leaving that on automatic. It's going to become, once we start looking at reviews, listings, and solds, it becomes pretty clear. It talks to all the other schedules and avoids duplicate posts. And then branding bars, you can see you can either go none or, you know, you can go automatic. I've got that one there. That's one of the older ones. There we go. So now when these posts go out, it'll have this branding bar looking like this right here. And then you can either include your own custom hashtags or you can include the hashtags that come with the post. Show you that in a moment. And now when do I want this to officially start? I want this to start on Monday the 17th. Prior to Monday the 17th, you will receive an email saying, or you can scroll down and click start your autopilot. Email gets sent out, says, hey, here's what we've got for you. What do you think? Can you hop in there and approve it? So we're not going to post anything without a person's permission. So it's really important that you go in there and approve those posts. A lot of the feedback, hey, I set up autopilot, but nothing happened. Yep, definitely set up autopilot, but did not hop in there and approve the post, so nothing happened. Or, and then that's why we built this, auto approval. Or you can turn that on and it's going to just automatically approve those posts and it's going to post month after month after month after month, and you only need to set it up once. It still will send you an email saying, hey, here's what we've got for you, but you do not need to action it. You don't need to hop in and do the permission. So this one's obviously my preference just because you only have to set it up once. All right, folks, take advantage of this tool. This is such a powerful tool being provided. It's going to just keep content flowing out on that nice consistent basis. And that's what all of these search algorithms are looking for. It's also engaging what's being called the social sphere. I'll call it an online referral network. That's who's following you on social media, on your business pages there, probably in personal ones if you're operating out of that. That's a network that should be harbored. So this almost turns into a social media drip campaign of sorts. Again, something you only have to set up once. And then our last bit is to go ahead and set up our review listing and sold schedules. So I'm still in that automate posts area, and I'm going to go ahead and click setup now. Now these are really straightforward, but I think the key takeaway is it is 3 separate schedules. It's a listing, it's a sold, and it's a review schedule. They all need to be set independently of each other, but it's also a nice way to highlight it's not all or nothing. If, you know, for whatever reason we don't want our listings going out, you don't have to set a schedule. So yeah, not all or nothing, and it's 3 independent schedules. So I'm just going to start with for sale. And these all set themselves up the exact same way. You're picking the scheduling. When do I want this to go out? Automatic's going to talk to the MLS and post that as soon as it finds a sweet spot, try and get it out there quick for you, but not overlap content. Or, you know what, if I get a fresh listing, just post it at 9 in the morning every day. So you can set it up like that. You can also set up weekly, specific days of the week. But another note, it's only posting fresh content. So if you want every day at 9 one of your listeds to go out, I can go ahead and post at 9. If it does not see a fresh one the next day, it's just not going to post anything. It's going to look for fresh content. It's got a template selected for you, but you can always hop in. There's several different templates you can choose from. Wherever we're seeing a picture of the property, that's the hero image that's coming over from the MLS. Which platforms do I want it to go to? Again, not all or nothing. Maybe I don't want this to go to my Google business profile, or I don't want it to go to Instagram. I just want it to go to Facebook. You can certainly set it up like that. You folks should only have one branding bar in there, and you'll see it. It's a little spiffier than this one, but yep. So it's going to ask you whether or not you want to use the branding bar, and then you can personalize that caption. It's going to have something in here for you, but generally what we see are hashtags in through this area. Just get some extra hashtags added in. Go ahead and click Save Schedule, and it's all set. So yeah, that's setting the schedule for the 4 sales, and then we'll just want to do the same thing for the listings and the reviews as well. It's all set up the exact same way. When do I want my just solds to go out? I mean, I'd probably put it on automatic, but I could see solds maybe going out. There's probably some kind of catchphrase like a sold Saturday or something. I don't know. I know there's Testimonial Tuesday, but however you folks kind of want to set that up as you see fit. So when we get a just sold, it goes ahead and posts that out. And it's the same idea. We pick which platforms we want it to go to. We save the schedule, and it's all set. And then last but not least, you'd go ahead and you set up your review template or your review schedules. Again, when do we want this to go out? Maybe I do want to do Testimonial Tuesday. I'm going to do Testimonial Tuesday and Thursday. So every Tuesday at 3, if there's a new review, it'll post. And if it has not posted a review and there's a fresh one, Thursday at 3, it'll go ahead and post. So a lot of control around when these are going to go out. Or every day at 3, send out a fresh review. And then you
That's
do all,
for team.
yeah.
We have teams where the team lead allows their team members to co-list. And you said this is pulling from MLS. Is it going to go to just the primary listing person, or will it go to both?
Oh, well, that is maybe something we should take offline and take a look at. We do offer what's called a team profile. And a team profile does allow for just one review request to be sent out, but then lands on multiple profiles with that single request based on who's on it from the MLS. But we can also set it up where if a .loop file pulls through, it would send one request on behalf of the listing agent and one request on behalf of the co-listing agent. So, maybe that's something we want to take offline and take a look at. I know all teams operate, a little different. But yeah, am I chat? Who am I chatting with there? I'm sorry.
That was Dayla.
Oh, hi, Dayla. Sorry, the screen was blacked out. Yeah, so yeah, maybe that's something that we want to take a peek at is the team profiles, but we could certainly take that offline. I mean, maybe we could even catch up as early as tomorrow because it's essentially another profile on our site. There'd be an individual profile, there'd be a team profile, and then there'd also be a brokerage profile. And what it looks like, really the only place where it gets, there's some decisions to make is around the review request automation. Because for a team profile, it's going to try and request a team review for whoever is on that listing, which works for some, but does not work for other because there's the potential for, an agent to be on a review request that didn't necessarily have anything to do with the transaction. And maybe it might, cause a little confusion for the client. I don't know, but I can tee that up and show you folks exactly what that looks like, and we can get something going.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you. Yeah, I'll when I send my follow-up email, I'll leave a note about that, and let's see if we can find because yeah, it's I don't want to say it gets convoluted, but there's layers there's layers to it. So yeah, we would definitely want to have a team demo pulled up for that one. Excellent. All right, folks. So yeah, that's your reviews. You click Save Schedule, and now you're all set. And so we're visualizing this dashboard left to right. We want to hook up our socials. The branding bar is in there. Maybe I can pull up a profile and show you. And then we've got automate posts. Now, please get into automate posts. This is, again, something technically only need to set up one time. We've got autopilot, we've got reviews, listings, and solds. And I do really think it comes to life when we start to look at that dot loop integration, because now you close out a loop, we'll pull in the information, we'll send you an email. Hey, we're going to send this. If you don't action it, it goes out to the client, it comes back in, passes through all of these tools, and it just hums along in the background. But I'm going to show everybody how you can actually immediately use this tool after you get your social profiles hooked up. You do not even need to wait for a review, a listing, a sold, or autopilot. Over in the templates area on the left-hand side of the dash, you're going to see ready to post. And this is where that 6,000 plus piece content library lives. That's getting updated every single week with relevant news in and around the real estate space, unless it's a seasonal post. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. I saw Halloween stuff at Home Depot. It comes early and early every year. So anyways, so yeah, folks, hop on in here. It's in the ready to post area. And wherever you're seeing a crown, that's a premium template. You have access to this whole suite. So don't worry about the crown. But why I like this area is you can see there's this little drop down and it's showing some categories. And these are actually the categories that it's going to draw from to build autopilot. Remember, we saw tips and hacks, we saw this or that. So it can just kind of give you an idea of, what you'd like to send out. So you can build out your playlist. And then when you click on it, you can go ahead and click create post. And then this is what the post will look like when it goes out across social media. You can choose to add your branding bar to it, but it will create a caption and it will create hashtags that are relevant to the image as well as the caption itself. And there's AI functionality, a bunch of it in here. I mean, I could use AI to rewrite this thing. You can do you know what, let's make it professional. It's way too long. Let's make it shorter. So you can kind of play around with that as well, get your hashtags in there. But as the name implies, you click publish, and that will immediately publish out to social media. So technically, don't even have to wait for any of those features. It's ready to go. And it might be a nice place to start as well. And actually, let me show you this new search bar. This thing's wild. So you can actually really start to fine tune what you're looking for inside of this search bar. So I'm going to do buyer tips for first-time home buyers in a sarcastic mood. That's so funny. It populates what people search, which is so funny to me. So, but we're going to do this in a black color palette. So now I've got buyer tips for first-time home buyers in a black color palette. So you can start to whittle that down and find very specific things. So yeah, have a play around, folks. That's in the ready to post area. All right, and last but not least, we're going to look at the very brand new toy, and that is market updates. So we have been asked for this for a very long time, and it is here. So we now can generate live market updates for a given location. And so we hop on in, you're going to see it here. I can go ahead, I can punch in a location, and it's going to update itself in real time on the right-hand side of the screen. So market updates are great ways to drive engagement. It's also a great way to show off that local market expertise. And people engage with these things. They just do, hey, I'm getting ready to move. What am I going to pay? What am I going to get? So have a play around with this one, folks. We've got this one launched. There's really neat stuff coming along the way for it. And I have this feeling if I click this next button, it might even be there. Not quite. Currently, this tool is a one-off post, but automation is like literally right around the corner. It's going to be neat. Hey, on the first of the month, post a market update for the previous month for this location. But currently, you can hop in and go ahead and one-off those posts. And it does come with a couple of different landing pages as well. So we've got one that's called Market Update page, and then we have one that's called Quick Capture Form. So this is the Market Update page. This also will be editable soon enough, but it's going to have your branding on it. It's got the headshot, some of your reviews, but then this is the info that those folks are looking for. That's a live market update on that location. Again, great engagement tool, and there are call to action buttons all over these profiles. So they can even download it now too. Engage with it when they're maybe not even browsing the internet, share it out. And then the other one that we saw was Quick Capture Form. And that one is this is a brand new one for us. We've never done anything quite like this. This is a quick capture form. There's nothing that they can click on this page that takes them away from it. There's no backlinks. So this was a heavy request. The idea is to get contact details. So we can go ahead and punch in their name, their email address, their phone number comes in. They can punch in the address they're interested in looking at, or maybe they're selling. They click submit, and then it will send you an email saying, hey, this person's potentially interested in this property. You may want to reach out. Here's their contact details. So we can call it a quick capture form, or we could call it a lead gen form. But yeah, we take requests very seriously. So there it is. When you build out your market report, you'll have a caption up at the top. It's going to have a link in it. You can either send them to a market update page or a quick capture form, or you can choose not to have the link when you go ahead and send it out. But yeah, folks, have a play around with this one. We're really fired up about this. It's been asked for a long time. It's all data that's being provided by a company named LiveBy. They are very respected in this space. We've been happy with the data. I've already been asked, though, does it come with a LiveBy login? I did not know they had logins for their site. So the answer is no, it does not. It's not that kind of partnership. They're just back here powering the back end of the tool. All right, folks. So that's the Social Studio tool. Again, I'm just going to go real high level over Social Studio. I'm going to show you how you get into that dashboard, because when you log in, you do log into what we call kind of the review side of the house, which is going to be this one right here. And the setup there was really just edit profile, get Google hooked up, play around with that import tool, leverage those reviews. Let's get them all in one spot. And then you can go ahead and manually request reviews, and then easy reviews will be turned on here soon enough. And then Social Studio, you're gonna want to hop in there. Do not click on social media posts. It's Social Studio, and then work the Social Studio dash left to right. Get your social profiles hooked up, or it's just going to keep hounding you to do it. Take a look at the branding bar. There's slick one in there for you, but you can always play around, with it. I think yeah, it's nice and compliant though. It's ready to go for you folks. And then automate posts is the most important spot. Set up autopilot, and you could set it up on auto approval, and it just goes month after month after month. And then review listings solds. The important note there is it's 3 separate schedules, and it's not all or nothing, but you will need to set a schedule for each one. And then just keep it in your back pocket. You have access to that 6,000 plus piece content library. You also have access to market updates. And I apologize, I went out of my flow a little bit. You can also upload and schedule or immediately post your own content as well. So you'll find that in the My Uploads area. You can go ahead, got a nice picture of some grass here. You can upload your image. We click these dots, we click Create Post, and then you can go ahead, punch in your hashtags, put in a caption. You can choose to add the branding bar to it, and then you can either immediately publish it, or you could schedule down to the minute when, which is funny to me, schedule it down to the minute when you'd like it to go out. So I guess there's another even way that you could immediately start to use this. So yeah, sorry folks, I almost missed that. It's the My Uploads on the left-hand side of the screen. So yep, now we've got the curated content flow, and you've got reviews, listings, and solds. You have options to upload and schedule or immediately post your own content. Mix this in with the dot loop easy reviews feature, and it's just going for you in the background there. All right, folks. Well, that's going to go ahead that's going to go ahead and wrap it on up there. I did see some questions coming on through.
Doing good on questions, Justin. A couple of people posted the error that they were getting, which is super helpful for us to take it over to the team. I've already pinged them, so that should hopefully be taken care of here pretty soon.
Yeah, sorry, folks.
Reposted the link. Yeah,
Sounds like some folks are able to get in and others. Okay.
yeah.
Excuse me. Hi.
Hi
So
there.
I had the error. This is Rachel. Hi. And then I did it on my phone. I am using a Mac, just so you can let them know. I don't know if anyone else getting the error is on a Mac or on a PC, but I was on a Mac, and then I was able to reset my password on my phone. But once I'm in now, I'm not someone did say something about allowing images. I can't find that on my phone, but that's definitely what I'm missing is like now I'm in, but I can't see all the content. Interesting. So I'm trying to play with it, but I'm not figuring it out.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Rachel. So let me share my screen real quick here. And when you're saying you're not seeing content, is that from inside of your dashboard?
Correct. Mine, yes, I see yours. When I'm looking at mine, it just says my reviews, with nothing underneath. And then, across the top of mine, I just say my reviews, property reports, account settings, and log out. In the top right, I see go to dashboard, but that's like literally it. Everything
Okay.
else is just white.
Let me see. This might be something I can look at right quick here. Okay, Rachel. I can let me just look at this real quick. Look at one last thing. I was hoping to be able to just dial this in for you right off the jump. Let's
Yeah, if it's too much to take up everyone's time, then we
yeah,
can.
I'm sorry, Rachel. One
That's okay.
thing, would
It looks like
you,
there's a couple people getting errors too. One on a PC, one on an iPad.
yeah,
So,
Rachel, when you get a chance, could you potentially try logging out and logging back in?
I mean, I did all
Uh,
that. I cleared my cache.
I,
I did. Yeah,
I,
I
oh, I see what's happening. Yeah, okay. Let me,
think I tried all the things, but maybe not all.
yeah, let me see. Maybe I need to do this one. Let's try that. Yeah, Rachel, at your convenience, if you wouldn't mind try logging back in. I think I figured out what happened there.
Yeah, okay.
And then that error for other folks there, I'm a little I'm a little miffed. I've never seen that that error before.
Well, actually, I see my picture now, so that's
I think
good.
what ended up happening is it made you an end user account, and I don't know if that has to do with the funky stuff that seems to be happening right now, but you should be all set there going forward.
Okay.
Um,
Let me mute.
Hi there, Kate. Yeah, it sounds like we're all, maybe gonna have a little bit of a powwow there because we can set up team profiles, but it might be best for me to try and get folks, a visual of what that looks like because it does function a little different than an individual profile. And it primarily has to do around the automated review request process. So yeah, Dayla, maybe that's something, yeah, that we can all just kind of loop in and take a look at. Yeah, absolutely, Kate. Write your name down. Wow, I really apologize for the folks that are not able to get into their account. We will get this buttoned up. I thought I'd seen them all.
Hey, Justin, I have
Okay.
another question for you. So we have
Yeah.
a agent that joined us 2 weeks ago. Have you had updates from us on the roster? Or is,
Mhm. I want to say that the last roster I got and updated was on the 29th. If you want to pass those agents over to me, I can take a look when we hop off here, but I think that I had an updated roster from July the 29th.
so that was one thing I know all of our agents don't care about this, but I wanted to talk to you as far as this. Leave staff goes, our procedure to get you those new agents so that, it's timely for them to be able to do this for onboarding. So just,
Yeah, no, and I appreciate, and Megan had put us on with one of your people over there to potentially tie into command, and I followed up on that, and it didn't sound like it was going to be a starter. So what it would look like is you folks emailing Ann and myself, and then it basically just gets forwarded over to somebody on our team, and they can get those folks in there right quick.
okay, so That's why you can't.
I have been linking my Google reviews. And I was doing them really quickly. And just wanted to give people a heads up, if you take some of these actions too quickly, your access will be restricted. And it gives a reason why rapid tasks or clicks is number one. So I'm not sure
Yeah, that
how
just
long,
happened to me also when I was trying to redo my stuff.
how long will the access be restricted?
It should only last about 15 minutes, but I can see if I can get that over to our data folks ASAP, and maybe they can unlock that even quicker. Yeah, that's to protect against malicious activity on our site, bots trying to click on it, scroll through it, do stuff. But unfortunately, it does sometimes, yeah, hit agents. So, and who so far has? I know Rachel, you just said you were.
Cinnamon. Cinnamon, Doran.
Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. Yeah, let me and is anybody are you folks in the office together all on like the same IP address by any chance or groups of people on the same IP address?
Where are you,
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
No. Okay.
Are you in Westerville, Cinnamon?
No.
No,
Oh,
He's-
you're here. I'm at Easton also.
because we can see you.
Oh, I can't see you.
Join the party, huh?
We're all in the training room.
Oh,
That if there's multiple people on that network, that could be why too. Oh my goodness.
That's something that will have a resolve in the future because, we have lots of our offices have multiple agents in them, especially this Easton one and like Westerville. Just making sure. I didn't know if that was something you could put to your team
Oh,
so that if maybe
yeah.
it's something that won't be an issue if they're all,
Once I
we've got 20 agents in here trying to log in and then they um, maybe have
yeah.
that issue because it has to do with an IP address. Obviously, they're feeding off the same Wi-Fi in
Yep.
our office.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not
And
sure if it is actually because there's a lot of people in the chat that aren't here.
yeah, I
Haven't
think
seen.
that it's I think it's two separate issues. I don't know about the login stuff, the access denied one. Yeah, and so like the when we whitelist that IP address, it won't happen again. So yeah, well, it gets added to a database and it just says, hey, this thing's fine. Don't yeah, don't block it.
Great, thank you.
Uh-huh. So it sounds like a lot of people are having that password problem. Okay.
Additionally, can you please reiterate how to add the branding bar to our posts? Cause I was in that branding, the ready to go social media posts and
Yeah.
figure out how to add the branding bar. And then when I was creating and editing the branding bar, the Greater Columbus logo was pre-smashed, so I wasn't sure if it's going to look like that.
We sh I'm sorry, who am I chatting with?
Cinnamon.
Okay.
Now, we had that logo fixed.
Yeah.
Very spreadsheet.
Okay. One sec here, folks.
May not be word. Welcome.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
What's your name?
Brandon,
What is it, Brandon?
Brandon Michaels.
Cinnamon, Doran. Yeah,
Pleasure.
you too.
Thank you for having.
Make your last name your Brandon Miller, or the Brandon Ryan.
Exactly.
Corny.
Let me try and get this going. Oh, gotcha. Cinnamon, when you came in here, did you not already have a branding bar that was loaded in?
It was the first very simple branding bar, but when I was playing with them, it was a
Okay.
show, to show
Um,
branding bars. I don't,
yeah, so in terms of that logo, yeah, if you wanted to, you would have to probably play around with a different asset or try and get a different one loaded in there. Yeah, the tool's only going to give you certain pieces of, functionality in terms of resizing it. I apologize. I thought we were talking about the ones that we had set up. Um,
when I clicked on the branding bar, it was the logo that was preset, but it was still scrunchy. And then when I was playing around with the layouts, it actually deleted the logo, and so I had to find one. So I don't know if that
okay.
means reverting back to the original branding bar.
Yeah, I can have somebody, yeah,
It
I can,
it
here,
just
let's try this.
Okay, can we pull up somebody else's and see how the logo looks with theirs?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, what was that?
I don't think that's anybody. I think it's somebody's unmuted and talking over.
Oh, okay. Come on, internet. I'm sorry, folks. There it goes. So, Dayla, that's the exact mimic of the one that we put up on your profile.
Okay. So the logo and everything's great there. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Um,
look.
and what I can do, Cinnamon, is I can have somebody go back and recreate one of these for you. Because truth be told, it was not me that went through and made them. So I can get it over. Yeah, I can get it over to the folks that are good with that, and we can at least get that one back in there for you. But that's, that is a really good kind of point there. Like you previously you wouldn't have even been able to edit one you've already made, but you can come back in there and it's technically, yeah, completely customizable. But yeah, we can, if you'd like, I can have someone load that default branding bar back in there for you.
That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you saying that we shouldn't
Oh, it,
or utilize the other layout?
you can, I mean, it's ultimately up to you folks. When we were chatting, we just wanted to get something in there for everybody. And one of the first couple that we made were not, with our old tool, this is actually like brand new. And KW Greater Columbus, you're the first people I showed it to because I was fired up. So it previously wasn't necessarily compliant. So we've got compliant branding bars in here that we took a look at, but you're free to design those as you see fit. I, would leave that kind of with you folks there.
If they
But
have the logo sizing it, let's say they want to customize it and they have problems getting a logo, can they contact your support and you guys help them with the logo?
um, yeah, we could see you could certainly reach out to them. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if they. Yeah, it might be worth a shot. I mean, to be honest, it'd probably be worth a shot there. But it ultimately, I mean, it's pulling into an editor that's called. It looks a lot like Canva, but it's called Palatno, and you can technically go through and completely, yeah, tweak everything. So if you're providing a logo that you've tossed in there and it's not, looking how you want it to look, we might need to just try a completely different one because support's likely to run kind of into the same thing.
But they can probably can they keep the branding bar you've created for all the agents and just change color And not mess with the logo or anything else?
You would have to click edit. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, once you click edit, it does give you options. I could change the background color, I could change the text color, I could change the text that we have there. You could change the layout technically. So yeah, no, the one that's in there is completely editable as well. And it would load in looking exactly like this, and then you could kind of play around with it. So we would have that bigger logo in there for you that's not stretched. Um,
So my
yeah.
recommendation is don't create a new one, just edit the one that's there with as far as color goes. And so forth, don't delete or,
Yeah, that's right. The logo.
Yeah, I think that's a good route.
Hey Justin, can you show us where, since it's like some of us, like myself, I have my own like team logo, if you will, or business logo. And Anne said we could add a co-branded logo. Can you show us where to do that and what that looks like?
Is that for Social Studio, or would that be when we were kind of looking at the branding on the agent profiles?
I think just in general, like I on all of my signage, I have
So,
both logos on my social media, both logos on my marketing,
okay. Yeah, I
like
think
team
what,
name, things like that.
yeah, I think what, when we say co-brand, it needs to be a single, well, inside of this dashboard for an individual profile, we would need to have one single image, but it could be a co-branded asset where, it just needs to be a single image. So you could put both of the
Got
images
it.
next to each other, and when you save it, you could upload it.
Okay.
But with this new Social Studio editing tool, if you folks had asked me this like a week from today, yeah, like last week, I would have said, no, you don't have the ability to do that. But now you do. When you come in with the branding bar, you can click this edit button, and then it does open up into full, customization. You might run into the thing where you got to resize it and play around with it, but technically you can put as many logos and whatever you'd like on that branding bar there. But we do have it in there to keep you, yeah, kind of nice and compliant off the jump. So maybe there is a world where you're just putting your co-branded logo here and just trying to kind of play around with the size. But yeah, and I apologize. Who was I just speaking with?
Rachel again. I
Oh,
talked a
sorry,
lot.
Rachel.
Sorry.
No, no, it's all right.
Like I
I
said,
just
just
can't.
have a lot of questions.
Oh no, it's fine. Okay. Yeah, and Rachel, it sounds like we might be chatting about teams as well, potentially. Okay. Yes, Alicia. Yes, we will be sending out training materials. And I know that we are, I think that, Dela, I think we put on the books that I'm going to be having another session with you folks here right quick, maybe even as soon as next week. I think we did plot that out. And so and if we have not, I'd love to get another session going. I'm mortified right now that people can't get into their account. I'm sorry that it's an error I have never seen before. I am hoping that those login issues are resolved in the next, couple of hours once I get this over to the devs. Um,
The 12th and 10th is the next training.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The next training with you is Wednesday, August 12th at 10.
Yes, it is. I have it blocked out. Okay. Yeah, folks. So, what I'll go ahead and do is we'll start hounding our product and development team, trying to figure out, did my camera just die? Trying to figure out what's
Yeah.
We can see you.
oh, okay. I'm all over the place. But yeah, I'll go ahead. We'll get this in front of the product team and developers ASAP and figure out why people are just running into issues trying to get into their profile. And then, yeah, I'll definitely zip out some training materials. And then, Dela and team, I'm hoping that, we can catch up and we can kind of look at the team profiles, or we can set up meetings with your teams. Happy to go through one by one and kind of show what it looks like, because it's a different experience. It's a little bit of a different experience. There is another profile. There's more layers to it in terms of the automation. There's a couple other neat things that kind of go with it there. So we can definitely get something organized to start looking at those teams.
Okay, we'll get you a list of those individuals.
Okay, perfect. All right, folks. And I know that's like it's like a lot of information and I talk a lot. But we'll get this follow-up session going. I'll get these training materials out. And Dayla, did we determine when we wanted to go ahead and turn that automation on? I reckon maybe with some of the issues we're having this morning, it'd be best maybe suited to give folks a chance to actually get in their profile and set some stuff up.
Okay.
And yeah, so maybe we can shoot for turning it on in the next couple of days. I just want to make sure people can get into their profile and hook up Google. So yeah, let's plan on that.
Okay, very good.
All right, folks. Well, hey, again, really appreciate everybody's time. And hopefully, we can get you in there right quick, start having to play around with those profiles. We're going to run another session next week. I'll probably go through some of the setup process again, but definitely going to be plenty of time for Q&A, give people a chance to hop on in there when I can, start getting everybody in there. And I've got some call to action items for myself here. I need to find that office IP address and make sure that it's whitelisted so that doesn't happen to you folks again. And then obviously chase down what's going on with that login.
All right, sounds great.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, folks. You take care.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you.
Make sure it doesn't happen again.
I like that.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
You too.
I will be there. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, we'll definitely see you around.
Very positive that she specifically thought Altello.
Really? Okay.
Thanks, lady.